Hello heroes, finally the Olden Era demo became available to everyone a few days ago. I guess you are trying out the game, right?
Yes.
I am, and I want to share my experience with you. I'm going to be completely honest with you. My first hour playing Olden Era wasn't what I expected. I hope you understand. But in the last few years I've only played Heroes 2, a game that seems simpler than Olden Era. I felt completely overwhelmed by the number of options, the new mechanics like faction law, the sub-skills for each secondary skill, the new units, and the new abilities that many of them have. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to recruit troops. I didn't know which unit to use. I didn't know if I could win battles, which obviously isn't the case in Heroes 2. Did you feel the same? I will read you in the comments. However, once you get used to the new mechanics and begin to identify the units and their respective characteristics, you begin to see all the great things that Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era has to offer. I will be honest with you again. I am very happy and hooked on Olden Era. This new fantasy world reminds me of the first time I played Heroes 2 a few decades ago. So, let's see what the best thing about Olden Era is, in my opinion. One of the best things about Olden Era is the new mechanics. In the older games in the series, if you build a wall or a tower, you get a benefit. In Olden Era, this is more complex. When you build a wall, you have to choose between three possible benefits. In the case of walls, for example, a good choice can make the difference between victory and defeat. This adds a lot of strategy to the game. I guess we all like strategy, right? But that's not all. Another addition to the game are faction laws. In very simple terms, they are laws that grant different benefits. This can range from obtaining additional resources to unlocking upgrades for your hero or your armies. Obviously, these benefits are different for each faction and further increase the strategic aspect of the game. Finally, another important addition is secondary skill subclasses. Now, when your hero levels up, you can not only choose a secondary skill, but also a subclass for that skill. These subclasses allows us to customize heroes to our playstyle, or choose the one that best suits the units in our army. In addition to the campaign mode that Olden Era will have, we have three other modes. The classic one we have all played, Single Hero, which is very similar to the classic mode, but we have the restriction of only using one hero, and if we lose it, the game ends. A very fun mode that I recently tried. In a next video I will show you my first game in single hero mode. It was a lot of fun and I managed to win with only 2 units against an entire army. And finally we have Arena mode, which I think is a complete novelty in the Heroes of Might and Magic series. This mode consists of a quick battle against an enemy, in which we have to choose heroes, secondary skills, artifacts, spells, and units. It's a really fun game mode, and a very quick and useful one, especially when we have not much time to play. Also, since the game just came out, it's a mode where we can quickly get to know all the units in the game, their strengths and weaknesses. The same applies to artifacts and spells. Obviously, there are also some things that I think could be improved, but I will make a special video pointing out all the things that could be improved in the game. Because we are strategists and we need even more strategy, All these alternative upgrades give us the ability to choose between one or the other depending on our fighting style. Do we need speed? Then we choose the alternative upgrade with more speed. The same goes for the other unit attributes. If that's not enough, they also have different abilities, which you have to check to see which one best suits your play style. And the best part, you can have both alternative upgrades in your army. With all this, we have another new addition that increases the strategy in the game. Did I say new right? If I'm not mistaken, this was first added in Heroes of Might and Magic 5, right? But I'm not sure about that because I played up to Heroes 4. If you enjoy this content, I invite you to subscribe so I can make more Olden Era content and also Heroes 2 content, of course.
Very interesting.
At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I didn't feel comfortable in Olden Era. However, once you get used to the changes, it's easy to recognize that Olden Era still has the essence of the classic games, with a very different art design than Heroes 3. For example, with many new mechanics that weren't in Heroes 2, but every time you collect a resource on the map, or pick up a chest of gold, or face units to obtain a powerful artifact. All of that is Heroes of Might and Magic, not to mention all the external buildings that return in this new game in the series, such as the Tree of Knowledge or the Black Tower. Of course, all of them with new designs. Now I've read a lot of criticism about Olden Era graphics, and I think they are valid. I don't think Olden Era is a perfect game in that regard, but I think the positive aspects of the game far outweigh the negatives. So from what I've played so far, Olden Era is a game that deserves to be played and considered a worthy entry in this wonderful series. Finally, I want to make a special mention of the heroes. This is another aspect that may generate debate, because personal taste is very subjective. But I like them. I think most of the heroes' portraits are very striking, and I think that's a positive thing. Perhaps in Heroes 2, the heroes didn't have the skills they needed to stand out, as they did in Heroes 3, where many of them stood out primarily for their skills and how good they were for adventure. In Olden Era and Heroes 2, I think the hero portraits are very good, and many heroes stand out for that. I also think the heroes' abilities are very good. Of course, something very important is missing: balance. But that's something we still don't have enough playtime to give a definitive verdict. So, what are my final conclusions? The game is good and is based on Heroes 2, 3 and 5, and it shows. I highly recommend playing the demo, and if you are already doing so, what do you think of the game? I will read you in the comments. Well, if you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe for more content from the Olden Era. See you in the next one. Goodbye.